They walked into the prison armed. They took 2 guards hostage. They got Assata out of her cell, walked her into a van, and vanished into thin.
Alright family, so we are now back today on Beyond 5D, Piece of the Family. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. So we got another video with Assata Shakur Tik Tok compilation. Alright, so the goddesses, this one is for you guys, definitely for the guys too, but you already know the goddesses. Y'all get motivated by Assata Shakur. She was a black liberation activist for our people. All right, she's still alive. Her birthday just passed. Cancer season. Shout out to all the cancers. You already know cancers, you know, they like the home. Assata Shakur was able to escape prison. She was able to be a come-up panther. She was able to be political. She was able to study Malcolm X during the Jim Crow times and to be able to help you. You know, there's books about her and her story. You know what I'm saying? This is the time when the goddesses had froze. And now she's in Cuba and safely protected from the United States government.
So this black woman got falsely accused of killing a cop, got hit with a life sentence in prison, then escaped from a high security prison in 1979. And to this day, the FBI can't even find her. So the sister name is Assata, and she's born 1947 in Queens, New York, and she's growing up in the middle of Jim Crow segregation and the civil rights explosion. And like most black people trying to survive in America at that time, she starts to wake up to how rigged the system really was. And by her 20s, she changes her name from Joanne to Assata Shakur, which means she.
So that already told you right there that she was very intellectual. Most of our people, they keep the same name, but to be able to change your name, your IQ is on a different level. She had the IQ of Fred Hampton, of Malcolm X. She was like on their level.
Who struggles for liberation, and she becomes a key member of the Black Panther Party and later joined the Black Liberation Army, a group that believed self-defense wasn't just a right, it was necessary. Now the FBI, you already know they labeled the Panthers and the Black Liberation Army as the greatest threat to national security. Like anytime we want to just protect ourselves, for some reason it's a threat to national security. All of a sudden, Assata Shakur name was on every Fed desk, and they wasn't trying to understand her, they was trying to erase her. So fast forward to May 2nd, 1973, Assata is pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike with 2 other people.
Y'all know this ain't gonna go well. Y'all know this is not gonna go well. Y'all ready?
And Sundiata. Now, depending on who you ask, here's what went down.
I know they're gonna try to mess with the story too. Like, not this guy, but in particularly these stories, they try to rig them, script them, try to change it up, rewrite it.
Now, police say Assata pulled out a gun and killed the state trooper, but Assata says the cops opened fire and she got shot with both hands in the air. And based on the climate of the Panthers at that time, I'm leaning more towards what she's saying. And that's not just speculation, that's medical records. She had no gunpowder residue, no fingerprints on any weapon, and her injuries suggest that her arms was raised when she was hit. But guess what? It didn't even matter. They charged her with first-degree murder, and her friend Zayd was killed during the shootout. And Sundiata was arrested and sentenced to life. And Assata, she was dragged into court after court on different charges: bank robbery, kidnapping, murder, you name it. And even though she beat 6 of the 7 cases due to lack of evidence,
man, they gonna add all them fake cases there, bro.
The media already made up their mind.
To this day, they still do the same thing.
They called her public enemy number 1.
That's something that Divine Insight, he has called himself as well. Shout out to the boy.
Assata is convicted for death of a state trooper and sentenced to life plus 33 years, despite no gun residue, no fingerprints, no eyewitness IDs, and a gunshot wound that paralyzed her arm. But here's where it gets more suspicious. Her trial was surrounded by armed guard dogs and snipers. She was
sniper, bro? It ain't no way they got snipers, bro. Like, what they think is gonna happen? I mean, she was a Panther, but a sniper?
Wasn't just treated like a criminal, she was treated like a war general. They locked her up in Clinton Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey, isolated, strip search constantly, lights on 24/7. And the crazy part, she wasn't broken, she was planning. Now let's fast forward to November 2nd, 1979. It's been 2 years since her sentence, and Assata is in a prison infirmary recovering from complications related to her gunshot injury. And then it happens. 3 people from the Black Liberation Army pulled off the unthinkable. They walked into the prison armed, they took 2 guards hostage, they got Assata out of her cell, walked her into a van, and vanished into thin air. No one was killed. Nobody knows how they managed to pull it off, off, and the most shocking, they never got caught. Assata just disappeared like a ghost.
And I really believe it's because she was truly innocent. So when you're innocent, you know, I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of innocent political prisoners, but she had an opportunity to get out because her people saved her. It was like she never got caught. She's still alive. She's still in Cuba.
And to this day, the government still don't know how they really pulled it off. No snitches, no suspects, no answers. Just a black woman who escaped the grip of the US prison system on camera and lived to tell a story. Now here's where the plot flips. In the mid-80s, Assata resurfaces in Cuba. She's granted political asylum by Fidel Castro's government. They called her a freedom fighter, not a terrorist.
This part is also very interesting because how did she even become cool with Cuba? She had to be able to trust Cuba. Because it's like, you can go to the Cuba leaders and the Cuban government and be like, hey man, I'm from USA, you know, I'm wanted. They could just easily turn you into the USA. Just think about it. Would you do it? It showed me that she had good people skills. She had good diplomacy. She's very political. She knew that if I go to these people, I'm gonna have to be a certain way so they can be able to trust me. Because to be able to go to a different country and get their protection is like literally, that's powerful. She literally was like that, able to get that out of a country. You got a whole country protecting you. You got the whole government of another country protecting you. Like, you know how powerful it is, bro? She's moving like a damn royal queen, bro. Most people in that case would be scared. They'd be like, I'm not trusting no government or no country. She literally was like walking like her ancestors was really protected. It was really making sure, hey, we're gonna get you right. We're gonna have you protected in the physical realm as well.
We seen what the US did to revolutionaries like MLK, Fred Hampton, and Malcolm X, and they wasn't having it. Meanwhile, the US is going full wanted, dead or alive. And in 2025, they officially labeled her a domestic terrorist. And in 2013, the FBI puts a $2 million bounty on her head with the help of the then President Barack Obama. And she becomes the first woman ever added to the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. Think about it. Not a mass shooter, not a bomber, a black woman who was shot, falsely convicted, and escaped. And she's the #1 female terrorist in America? Miss me with that. Assata Shakur wasn't just any activist. She was the embodiment of black resistance. She challenged police violence. She exposed the hypocrisy of the justice system, and she dared to survive a system built to break her. And the best thing of it all, she educated others. Even behind bars, her letters, her poems, and her writings reached the streets. She taught young black women to value their minds, their bodies, and their roots. And for the US government, that was more dangerous than any bullet. It's been over 40 years and Assata Shakur is still free. And as of today, when I'm making this video, she just turned 78 years old, living somewhere in Cuba, protected, respected, and thriving. To some, she's a criminal. To others, she's a revolutionary. But
yes, shout out to Assata Shakur, and also shout out to Tupac, for sure. Tupac, you know, because a lot of people believe, like Brother Umar believes that Tupac was a revolutionary, but he believes that Tupac had the potential to be the most powerful revolutionary of all time on American soil. Let's read this.
Tupac would have went down in history. Tupac would have went down in history. Arguably, had he gotten his mind right in time, he could have arguably went down in history as the greatest revolutionary to ever walk American soil. Greater than Malcolm, greater than King.
Most people are like, no. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Let's get him out. Let's hear brother out. Let's let him cook.
Greater than Huey. Because he had the money, he had the presence, and he had the followers. The Panthers had the numbers, but they didn't have the money. Black Liberation had the soldiers. They didn't have the money or the platform. Tupac had the money, the platform, in the spirit. He had to go.
He had to go. Okay, so that's the reason why too. The Black Liberation Army, the Panthers, you know, the AAPL, all these, you know, black systems and military organizations, they were very powerful. The police, they were beefing with the police, bro. They were telling the police, nigga, we the police. so but a lot of the times I've heard that they wasn't really wealthy. They didn't really have, you know, bands like that. So, you know, Tupac had the bands, he had the platform. He just, you know, and then he was also, people don't really know that Tupac was also a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? People, there's lots of stories saying that he was tied to the Panthers and, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. Tupac on his Black Panther ties. Bro, he was a Black Panther. He wasn't just around them. People say he was around. Nah, he was one. Of course, he wasn't going to say it publicly, but he had family members, friends. He was in the Black Panther Party, bro. I put this, you could just feel it. Okay, so of course, you know, he learned certain things, and he really loved the Black Panther Party, but he was very dangerous because just like XXXTentacion, when he learned about certain things about, you know, the frequencies and the 440 hertz, with X, they had to get him out. We were like, gotta get this man out of here. That was too dangerous. It was gonna wake up too much people. Same with Tupac. He was in a position where when you're a celebrity and you got like, you know, millions of followers, bro, you can wake up the planet just with a few things, a few words. You have your influences. You have so much impact. Your impact, your effectiveness is higher than 99% of the people. So everything you do can affect the world now, right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they be on their top, they be on their heads. And this is why they get knocked out, because, you know, they get knocked out because, you know, feds they be watching, bro. You know what I'm saying? So understand, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely one of those revolutionaries as well. Of course, you know, he didn't go full blown, but he was stopped because of certain connections that he has and that he was a part of. Okay, so let me see. I also want to go to some more Assata Shakur videos. So this is a video of Assata Shakur saying how basically this goes into her story of how she escaped.
That prison, I was put in a maximum security unit, in a cell with 2 guards in front of the cell 24 hours a day, and a cell between 2 towers that could train them directly on the cell. I was told that I was in the Yardville unit for women, even though I was the only woman, and they tried to keep me there for the rest of my life. My grandmother came to visit me there to tell me a dream, and she came with all of my family, and everybody was happy, and I'm like, you know, what's happening with you all? You're in this mood. She had a dream, and I was like, okay. And so my grandmother's dream was that she was dressing me, that she was in an old house that she lived in when she lived in New York still, and she was putting clothes on me. I said, is that the dream? She said, that's the dream. And I said, well, was I little or big? She said, no, you were big. So I said, oh my God, the only time people dress anybody when they're grown is when they're dead. And so she said, no, I know what you're thinking, no. What this dream means is that you are going to leave this prison. I don't know when, but it's going to be much less time than you've already spent here.
Wow.
That prison.
These stories are amazing, family. Tap in. Let's get this genetic remembrance, this genetic activation up there. You know what I'm saying? Because those who came before us we are all one. So it's like, I'm you, you're me. So when you see another one of yourselves breaking, you know, free and being liberated, it makes you happy because you are her. You know what I'm saying? It's like we are all just seeing an experience that we are having. You're seeing an experience that Assata Shakur is having. You are seeing an experience of yourself having it in another form of another body. So this is all love, man. I really love her. I really love everybody watching. Like
my ancestors' expectation of me, because I really believe that
she was very spiritual too. She was a Cancer zodiac, so you know Cancers are very spiritual, along with Sagittarius and Pisces. They're like top 3 most spiritual signs, along also with Scorpio.
I had.
Yes, family. So yeah, we just wanted to show you guys this quick Assata Shakur videos that we have lined up for you guys. Understand that Assata Shakur was very similar to Fred Hampton and Malcolm X and a lot of the other black activists who